So that's why I say that men cry differently. It's not that we don't have the same emotion. It's not that we don't feel the same way.
Yeah.
Is that a lot of men don't know how they will be perceived and received, so they have to choose to express their emotion through anger and rage.
All right, Shon, what's up, man?
What's good, man? What's good, brother?
Man, how you been, brother?
I'm doing well, man. Ready to rock and roll?
Ready to rock and roll. So, first of all, before we even get into the business, I saw how you loved on your wife for Valentine's Day, bro. I saw that.
Did you see
Yeah,
that? Did you see that?
yeah, I saw that, man, and it was. I was like, oh, so that's how you're supposed to do it,
Listen, listen to me. Listen, don't try to take pointers from me, bro, because she'll
Is that
let you
how you
know.
supposed to do it, Shon?
Listen, don't try to take any pointers from your boy because I am not the romantic one, bro. Like my romantic game is in a basement. In the basement.
I don't believe you, bro.
I'm
I don't
telling
believe
you,
you.
it's in the
I
basement,
don't believe
man.
you.
Listen, I did do that, right? You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I had to think about that from quite some time ago. I had to think about that. And I remember the young lady, she catered the event I was at, and I was like, you know what, let's do this. But listen, bro, I'm so spontaneous. I'm such an I. You know what I mean? When you look at the disc, I'm such an I. Bro, I was that whole night was evolving as we were going. I didn't know how I was going to pull it off. I still had the kids at the crib. When I left the house to allow the lady to come in and set up, I didn't know where we were going to go in between time.
Okay.
Bro, I was just driving. And then eventually I got off on the exit and I was like, ooh, there's a hotel. So I got out the hotel, bro. Went to the hotel, parked the car in such a way. And I went inside. I was like, yo, my man. And I mean, he don't know if I was like trying to rob him or nothing. Right. But I walked in and I was like, yo, my man, what I need you to do is just shake your head no. He looking at me like, what you trying to get me caught? I was like, nah, man, I'm trying to surprise my wife. I was like, shake your head no. I'm like, because I told her I left some tickets. So I'm trying to, act like you won't let me in. He is like, I can shake my head no. But he like, I'm letting you know, she can't see you. Where you parked, she can't see inside the building.
Bro, you are hilarious.
So I just walked out, looked mad, like I messed up. But you know what her funky tail did, bro? She laughed at me, like one of these things. Like, see, that's what you get for trying to surprise me. I'm the one that keep the calendars in the first place. If you'd have let me know, so I was playing along with it till we got her funky tail home. And then your boy pulled off the greatest surprise ever. You know what I mean?
I saw.
You know what I mean?
I saw.
You know what I mean? So she had to eat all crow. Eat all crow.
Okay. That's beautiful.
All crow, bro.
Well, happy Valentine's Day out there to everybody who has the opportunity to enjoy it. My screen looking like it's getting shaky over here. My internet.
It was when I coughed. When I coughed, your screen started going grainy on us, man.
I'm like, let me stop moving around. I'm like, if I stop moving,
I'm gonna stop coughing.
But no, man, listen. So I wanted to talk to you about something that really had hit me, and and it really started out with a meme that I saw. And the meme, man, I need my picture to get right. See, they know.
Don't worry about it. Stop focusing on your. Stop focusing on your camera. It'll come in. I just stopped coughing. It'll come in. It'll take a minute. You making me look good. That's all. So you stay like that. You make me look
good. So Shon, what I want to talk about is really, where is there a safe space for men to have real time emotions, right? And I know that so much of what we talk about when we're talking about fathers and men is that men cry differently. And I hear that from you all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I guess we do. But what happens to the man who doesn't cry differently, who happens to actually really cry and then decide to cry and go on TikTok or go on Instagram or go to Facebook Live and cry?
Yeah.
And one of the things I've seen happen with brothers that open up and be emotionally in the in real time in any social media spot is that they get extremely ridiculed. And so it just made me stop and think. I'm like, well, dang, if I'm not punching a hole in the wall, if I'm not doing something that requires a man, as we think when we think about men cry differently. If I'm not holding it all in, but I actually let it out and I happen to do it live, then there's a shame that comes with it. So I saw a clip that Tyrese did in a call out for his daughter. And again, and thinking about Tyrese too, I just want to just make sure that we say, that recently Tyrese lost his mom, and so he did an amazing tribute to his mom in some of her last hours. And so I just want to, say, just that our hearts and our prayers continue to go out to Tyrese. But I do think it's really important when we think about the idea of men having real emotions and expressing those emotions and deciding to take it to the um, the live tool that we all of us use as in social media, that there's something that happens when men actually do it versus when someone else or women do it. But most importantly, when black men do it, it just feels different. So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know if we can. Do
Yeah.
you have the video that we can show and just
Yeah.
maybe just explore this?
I'm gonna show the video, but this is the thing, man. I did a workshop with some of my dads, not probably about a year ago, and I put up a chart, and on that chart it was a bunch of emotions, a bunch of scenarios where they can identify with, and
Mm,
it was two things on there that none of the men raised a hand on, right? And one of them was jealousy, and the other was sadness, and I forgot the other emotion, man. But what they all identified with was anger, mad, happy, excitement. But the
mm,
ones that had a connotation of a female attribute, they did not want to identify or connect with, which I know is a lie, right? And we begin to unpack that. We begin to unpack that. And so that's why I say that men cry differently. It's not that we don't have the same emotion, it's not that we don't feel the same way.
yeah.
It's that a lot of men don't know how they will be perceived and received. So they have to choose to express their emotion through anger and rage, right? Because if I show myself as this,
this is all I got. This is all I got. Don't take my baby, okay? I've been I've been away from my baby for 2 months. I just want my baby. I just want my baby. And no one's listening because no one's in the courtroom. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm not doing anything illegal, but I don't want nobody. Oh my God, am I doing something illegal by doing this video, or am I protected by the First Right Amendment or the amendment? Don't take my baby. I'm at $13,000 a month. What more do you want from me? Oh my God.
Wow.
yeah. So let's see.
Wow. I mean that's really hard to watch. right? It's something that you only see privately, right? I might see that if my closest homeboy lets me in to hear that, right? When he called me like, yo, but to actually see that live, hear that live, and experience that, and even the fact that that's happened years ago, but the fact that that is still just to see a man in that space. And what I thought was really interesting too is that it moved to the financial spot, right? It moved back into the space of I'm paying.
Yep.
Do I have in my rights? Am I okay? Like that right there really just bothered me. And so I just wonder
Yeah.
like how do
It's
we hold space in the
yeah.
in the world for men to really be emotional
Yeah.
about matters of the heart?
Yeah. So I want to speak to a couple of things, man. It's a lot to unpack here, right?
Yeah,
But Jamal said it's all about being secure in yourself. And and I totally agree with that, right? Because Tyrese, it had to take a lot for him, regardless of why he did it. It took a lot of courage for him to express himself amongst the world, knowing he's a public figure,
yeah,
knowing that he would be ridiculed for doing that, speaks volumes to me that he's like, yo, I'm willing to do whatever it takes. It goes back with some of the dudes I work with. In the beginning, we asked them, bro, because we already know, right? Because we know what we're going to require of them. It's not going to be comfortable. So
right.
our question is, because some of these dudes have never been around their kids, or it's a tumultuous relationship between them and mom. So our question to them is, listen, will you be the wall?
Mm,
Right? Will you be the wall? And that wall is that no matter, it's like the example we use is that if you jump in the pool and you begin to lose yourself, where's the one place you can go for safety? That's the wall.
yeah,
And so we ask them, like, will you be the wall? And they make a commitment, yeah, I'll be the wall. So, well, we need you to be the wall when things are not going well. Will you still be committed to the process when it's extremely difficult?
yeah,
So the question is to them is like, yo, how far are you willing to go to get what you want? And Tyrese saying, listen, I'll make myself look like a plum monkey fool to the masses, but I want my babies to know that I want them. I don't know the details, all of the backstory, the whole nine,
yeah,
not defending them. But what
yeah,
comes
right.
out of this is that people ridiculed him for showing his emotion.
Yeah,
Now, I'll tell you one thing, homeboy. You keep my kids away from me, and you make me pay 13 racks a month. I cry
that part.
on your Facebook Live, Jamal's Facebook Live, Demetrius Facebook Live. What more do you want from me? You know what I mean? Like, yo, that's not easy, bruh.
That's real. That's real. That's real. And the fact that he felt like he couldn't go any other place to be heard but live. Like it reminded me of just again being at a space where you so backed up against the wall, ain't no way out,
For real.
you know.
So
And
I want you to speak
that's
to
the part that
this. Speak to this. Demetrius said, do you think anger and rage is the only way to get people attention that something is wrong?
there's so many ways I want to go with that, right? Because if I if I believe that that's what men are known to do, then I'm gonna put him in positions where I can get him to react and respond that way. So that's one angle I could take, right? I do think that and this goes back to my theory around how we condition boys is that yeah, if I'm conditioned to operate out of my anger and rage, and I see that my anger and rage moves things and moves people in positions, and I can get something met through that process, then yeah, you learn that. And no, I'm not gonna say that. I'm a,
What?
I'm a hold it in.
Why? No, come on, don't do that.
I'm a, cause, cause one of the things, and how would I say it? I'm a boy dad. So nothing but sons, right? And I learned early on that there is a space for anger and rage. You take that out on the field, right? And I've seen what happens when you take anger and rage out on the field. There's a level of, how do I say this? Glory.
Hmm.
It is supported. It's advertised. It's less threatening when it's on the field, but it is a no when it's at home, right? So, I think there's a lot of mixed messages that we send to boys that become men around how you express anger and rage, how it's celebrated, how it's encouraged, where it's not encouraged, that who gets to use it, what group, so there's so many layers to it. But I think for me, I think anger and rage there's a space for that, and people have encouraged it for a long period of time until it starts to affect
Yeah,
families.
yeah. So my thing is, D, my position on it. I think it is a place for it, right? But I think it's a place where it's appropriate. When I'm using it to impose my will on others, then nah, it's not, right? I mean, when I'm using it to harm, and I know that's not what you're talking about, D, but I just want to clarify for everybody else, right? So I think that there's a place when you talk about in the battlefield or football or basketball or whatever the case, like there's a place where, hold up, let me cut that off. There's a place where it's controlled. I give you an example, man. My son, I don't know if you seen the video last summer. My son, there was a dead bird in my backyard,
I
right?
saw it.
It's a dead bird, right? And so I could have easily went over there to the bird, picked it up, threw it away. My son would have never saw it. But every time I get an opportunity, I want to expose my son to something new, and I want to be present so I can help him navigate and process that. Because I don't know how many opportunities I'm going to get. So what I did, I made him go over there and pick it up, right? Now, I knew he wasn't going to be too happy about it. He was afraid. He thought it was nasty, the whole nine. Guess what? It is nasty. If I was his age, yeah, I'd be afraid too. It's a bird, like something, I don't know how they operate, but I was there present with him. His mom was tripping. She was on the side. And I'm like, yo, fall back. Right. But I processed him through it. I said, listen, you don't have to do it this way. You're going to do it, but I'm going to be here with you while you process it. I don't care how many times you run back and forth, however you have to do it, but you're going to do it. But the key thing is that I was there helping him navigate and process them. What do you feel? That's normal. I'm afraid, Dad. That's normal, bruh. I get it. What are you afraid of? Well, he says this. Well, let me take that away. Well, it can't do anything to you. It's dead. At this point, it's dead. It's nasty. It can't do anything to you. But so I don't want to go through the whole story. But my point is, when Demetrius is asking his statement, his question, I think a lot of times, why we do this podcast too, is that we trying to encourage fathers that we need to be present to help navigate our sons and daughters through situations that they will be exposed to for the first time.
So what was beautiful about what you did, because I saw it, so I had an opportunity to watch it, and I watched it all the way through, right? And one of the things that stood out to me is that it wasn't that you were just present; it was that you were present and you were nurturing and caring and supportive through that
Yes.
whole thing. So when you were talking and you were processing feelings, you were using feeling type of words that I know for a fact and we both know for a fact that that is not not for every man, that's not as natural as it looked watching you do it. So, but there are some men that are very serious. Okay, I'm back.
Yeah, you back. You back. You back. You back.
There, I'm back. There are some men that have that real natural gift of just being nurturing, right? I saw all of that take place, and I'm like, because you could have went completely left with it. You could have been present, and you could have got upset that how dare you be afraid to pick up a bird? What get over there and get that? You could have started using all of those things that become aggressive. You present,
Yep.
but you coming with an energy that now I'm stressed. Now you're imposing your will as you described. Now he's fearful more of not only his own fears about the bird, but now he's concerned about how you're reacting. Mom is present. Like there's all those new dynamics taking place. But you were not just present, Sean. You were nurturing him through the process, which and talking to him about his emotions while he was doing it. And he was like, I was thinking to myself, oh, I ain't picking up that bird either. But I also didn't have a
Mm.
father who walked me through the process when things I didn't like or things I was afraid of to say, hey, son, I'm going to stick by your side through this process. And so that's what you did. You weren't just present, but you were also nurturing in your presence with your son to help him move through it as he faced the fears and the experiences of his emotions right there and in live. And I think that is what I think this fatherhood thing is while we're talking and having this podcast, because it really is important about recognizing that you have, as fathers, as men, we all have those untapped gifts of being nurturing, loving, caring, and supportive. It's just not often that we are put in positions and places when it comes to our children, and just in general in life to use that kind of tool or use those natural gifts that we have when it's unrelated to getting something that we want or something we need from a
Oh, word up.
particular sex.
So
I think,
Jamal,
man, you nailed that.
I appreciate that, bro. Jamal trying to get something started here. But
What
he
he's saying,
said,
I can't see what he's saying.
and he said, and it shows that the court doesn't care about those men in the courtroom. He's speaking to where Tyrese was talking about he paying 13 racks, right?
Mm,
Paying 13 racks, and mom won't give him access to child. You
yeah,
know what I mean? And listen, Jamal, as a whole, the system has definitely failed us,
absolutely,
right?
100%.
However, today,
There we
I'm
go.
only speaking about today. Today, we are in a much better place because we have a lot more advocates and people that are in pretty um, influential positions that are trying to get policies changed. However, those policies can't get changed unless we take it to our legislators, right? So we even here in the state of Michigan have people who are in great positions within the state of Michigan believe that policies and the laws should change and says openly that these laws are antiquated.
Yeah,
And I'll tell you, I didn't even know. I was in the meeting and a white woman made the statement. She was like, listen, child support, when that was all started, it wasn't even thinking about black men. I said, huh? She said it was started because most of your white men was making a whole lot of money. The women were stay-at-home moms. And what would happen, they would leave the mother with children. And so they put that in place. So now that this white woman who was a stay-at-home mom with these children now will have some money to take care of them, but she wasn't working because daddy was going. And I was like, really? But those rules and those systems haven't changed since way back then. In the family dynamics, the way that it's set up right now is nowhere near how it was back in the day. But the rules are still in place from back in the day.
yeah,
So what you're saying, Jamal, is absolutely, I won't disagree with that. I won't say that you're missing it. But that's why, Cole and myself and other brothers, man, are on the front lines doing everything that we can to change that narrative and to become a voice, to change policies, man, and rules and legislation, man. But it takes a collective
Yeah,
of people, and not us just showing up as angry, but us showing up being able to articulate our point and bring facts on how it is causing families to implode.
absolutely. Yeah, it's good. Thank you, Jamal.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's good.
So,
That's good.
so, so Cole. So speak to me. Like, what triggered you, man? Like, to even what triggered you about Tyrese? And then I know you had another poll about, another video about Kanye. But I tell you the truth, I have a different perspective about the Kanye thing. I have a different perspective in his position. So I'll be curious to hear what your thought is around Kanye, if you have one.
Yeah. I necessarily have one, but I just think
Okay.
that there are tactics that one uses to get attention. So I'll stay to that.
Yeah.
But I think for me, what triggered the Tyrese um video. Oh man, I gotta get my internet together, y'all.
Yo, you
Please forgive
good.
me,
You're
bro.
not frozen. You're not good.
I think what triggered me for the Tyrese one is really centered around understanding like where is there a space for men to be emotional?
And look, and I went out. What happened?
Look, you went out.
I don't know what happened right there. I'm good. Let's go.
I
I'm
think
good. I'm back.
my spider net over here tripping. But I think what triggered me is just recognizing there just are not a lot of enough spaces for men to express themselves without there being shame that comes along with it. And I think as much as we talk about wanting men to be expressive, wanting boys to express themselves, and recognizing that there's a health factor that comes along when you're able to express those emotions. I think that when time and time again, boys and men learn very quickly that as much as people are saying do it, there are definitely other reasons not to do it if you don't want to be ridiculed, if you don't want to be shamed, if you don't want to be labeled, all of the things that come with expressing yourself emotionally. So then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go back, and we see this all the time. I'm going to go back and be in pain and suffer in silence, right? Because that it doesn't necessarily feel like as much as people are telling me it is. I have enough examples in media, in my own personal life, with my friends, my family that says, no, there isn't a lot of safe spaces for men to talk about or express their true emotions raw without there being a backlash or ridicule or shamed because I did it. So it's almost like you can do it, but I need you to do it in a scripted way so that it doesn't feel uncomfortable. Because watching that Tyrese um, clip right there, I was triggered emotionally. So
Mm,
I think too, a lot of people are not they we do it in silence so much that oftentimes people don't even know how to experience you when you actually do it live. So when I actually cry and break down at home, people don't know what to do with that because it's like, wait, no, what's going on? So then they're triggered in their own stuff and still can't be there for me or be there for the man that just it implodes or explodes. Let me say that when he explodes emotionally because they don't even know how to handle that.
yeah.
So it's like, where do you go? And I think I just always go back to just listening to what you say. Men men cry differently, and so
Yeah.
it just stuck with me when I saw that.
Yeah. It's funny, man, is that my dad, who is 84, I believe now, and he's has Alzheimer's, right? Alzheimer's, you call it. and and since he's been diagnosed with it, he's been extremely emotional, right? I have never seen this man be emotional outside of just not even, yeah, I would say anger, right?
Yeah,
Never
yeah,
outside of that. And now that he is 84 and have Alzheimer's, he'll call me in a minute and be on the other side of the phone expressing his feelings and these emotions and all of that. And tell you the truth, man, it has helped me personally to reconcile.
Yeah.
Right? Some of those gaps has it's allowed me to see him at his core. It's allowed me to see who he is at the root. And he's given me answers to some questions that I've had years for many, many years. Right? I mean, even without him verbally expressing, saying, I'm sorry for that.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing him through a different light. It's allowing me to see him at his core and just like, yo, he just didn't know. He was doing the best that he knew how to do. He wanted the best for me because I can look at him driving me. He made sure I never went hungry. I never, went out without clothes, without eating. He did the bare essentials, but where I wanted him most, he just didn't know how to show up for me like that.
Yeah.
He didn't know how. And so I penalized him for years for something he never knew how to do. It's like me getting pissed at you because you don't know how to swim. Bro,
Yeah.
I don't know how to swim, but you just don't know how to say, hey, Shon, I don't know how to swim.
Yeah.
Right? But years later, I find out like, oh, Cole, the reason why he never wanted to go to the beach because he never knew how to swim. And you didn't know how to tell me that. Right? And so that's my thing now with my dad, is that I'm able to see all of those areas that he where he didn't show up for me to where I thought he should show up. I'm able now to forgive him, like, oh, I get it. Because just the other day he called me and he's just like, yo, I love you. Like nothing before, after it, just like, boom, I want you to know that I love you. And I'm like, yo, that's what's up, man. And he doesn't know like those little things that he's saying over this period of time of where he is just chipping away at all of that hurt that I was holding on to for years. And the Lord, like, yo, I'm giving you your reconciliation before he goes.
Wow.
And it's for you to take it, or it's for you to reject it. And where I'm at this point, man, I'm just receiving it, man. I'm just receiving it because that's that's what I owe me. I owe my family, and I owe that to those that I serve.
Man.
Right?
Shon, I want to say just thank you for sharing that and your story with me and us. But it led me to ask a question I hadn't really thought about until you triggered it. So even as an adult man, it still matters if your father tells you he loves you.
Absolutely, bro.
Okay.
Absolutely. Bro, I took a screenshot of me and him on he don't have he like you, he have a droid. So we can't FaceTime, so we got a duo. So he duoed me. so so he has his face all up in the screen like this, you know what I mean? He don't know. But I took a screenshot.
What you not gonna do? What you not gonna do, bro, is tell the story.
You green bubble guy. You green bubble guy. You the green bubble guy. Hey guys, he the guy with the green bubble. He the green bubble guy.
Go ahead, Shon. I'm gonna let you tell your story, bro.
He the green bubble guy. Tasha, we was talking about you, homo. We gotta get you on here, man. We said we gotta have the three of us on here consistently.
Yes.
Us three. We need us three.
Yes.
We know you had your hibernation long enough. We need you right here in the middle. So let's get this popping.
Man, we miss you.
Yeah. You had your hibernation long enough, homie. You
This man
silly
talking
man.
about my phone, bro.
Yeah,
Using I
yo,
don't even.
yo. So we got you on here saying, let's do it, y'all. So we got you, Tasha.
Okay,
We back in the business. We back in business next week. Back in
okay,
business.
that's what he said.
Yeah, back in business, man. And get one of your girls. We said we want to bring one of your girls on here so we could talk junk.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do that.
So, but that's the thing, man. It's like, I honestly, man, I needed that, bro. I said not even past tense. I need that, right? I
Yeah,
need that. I need that part to bring that reconciliation, so I can move forward, man. You know what I mean? And I've been working on this book, man, bro, for about 3 years, and I haven't even got to the place to solidify it. And the Lord just like, because it's not done. And if I would have finished it a couple years ago when I wanted it, this part of the healing process wouldn't be in it. It would be, still to be continued. And so now I think I'm getting close to that place where I can really bring it full circle, because now I have that perspective. I really know what forgiveness is, right? I
wow.
know what forgiveness is. It's not just a word, right? It's something that you have to be intentional about forgiving people, because you don't want to forgive them. You want them to suffer. You want them to feel the wrath and the pain. Yo, forgiveness, it doesn't keep score and record,
Man,
right?
not
Because
at
it's not
all.
about them. You know what I mean? So, yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Well, man, you left us with something I think truly to think about and treasure. And that's too for me just to remember that, man, we got to hold space for fathers to be expressive and share the emotion, but also we also got to allow fathers to enter into our lives when they make the mistake or they don't do what we think they should do, and allow them to hold grace and mercy for them like we want it for ourselves. And I think that that's important. And it's necessary. But I'm walking away with this too, with the understanding that I have young adult sons too, and I have to also remember that, man, me calling to say, "Hey, son, I love you," is important too. So thank you for
Yeah.
that. I needed that. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, man, we gonna have our legit or not legit tonight. But I'm excited, man, to announce that Tasha already said it, that we be back in the building at least 3 games deep, if not 4. And
Oh,
we like to have fun, man. So we're
okay.
having popping, man. So legit,
I'm already celebrating.
yeah, you know what I
Come-
mean?
Let's go.
You know what I mean? So
Okay.
listen. So do you have a legit or not legit?
No, I never have legits. I don't even know why you asked me.
Boy, you something else. You something else. So
I
my thing
never
is,
have them.
so I have one. Is it legit or not legit, right? To be called Bill Cosby every time you try to fix something in the house?
Ooh, ooh. So I'm gonna say not legit.
Okay.
Um, but what I'm gonna say, if they called you Cliff Huxtable, then I
Yes.
say yeah.
Yeah, Cliff Huxtable. Yeah, you're not the real Bill Cosby. I'm talking about Cliff Huxtable. They calling me
Wait,
how he used to try to fix stuff. He would break
yeah,
it, all that type of
yeah,
stuff. So my thing
yeah.
is it legit or not legit to call the man of the house who's fixing stuff Cliff Huxtable? You say yes?
Yeah, man. I mean, why not? I mean, that's what that. What else can they do? There's only so much they can do, Sean.
Okay. And listen, okay, I'm glad you asked, Tasha. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. You
Because
said,
I want to go ask Tasha.
well, do you actually know how to fix it? Well, let me tell you, I may not know how to fix it. See, I did make this about me, huh? But anyway,
It's
it
okay.
doesn't
It's
matter.
okay.
I may not know how to fix it, but
Hmm.
YouTube does. And I'm a very good visual learner. And once I go learn how to do it, then I go and execute. It may take me all day. It may
Okay.
take me 2 days, but I get it done. And it's going to
Mm,
be done right. And my thing is, I at least want to try it once to say that I did it. Next time, I'll pay somebody. I'm not tripping. But the first time, I at least, a few weeks ago, the snow, you know how the snow was all jacked up. It took me 2 days to fix the snowblower. But guess what?
You got it fixed.
Fixed it. And then it broke again. Well, listen, the only reason it needed a tune-up, that was out of my scope. So I took it in. But at least I got the sucker going. I mowed or whatever you call it, about 2-3 rolls before it died on me. But I walked away feeling like a champion because I fixed it. She talked about me that I took 2 days to do it, but I did it.
Legit.
He said, when you fix it, how long does it work? Most of the time it works forever. Forever. Get out of here. She saw something legit. Get out of here, man. Listen, it was another episode down, man. I don't know what episode this is, but I'm excited, man, to have Tasha back.
Episode 13, right?
Yeah, man, is it? So you saying 13 for Friday the 13th, like for breaking stuff? Is that what you're trying to do to me? See? Listen, all my iPhone people, text Cole and watch your phone come back green. Green bubbles.
And on that note,
green bubbles.
Y'all take care out there. We'll see you next week. Tasha's coming on, right?
Yep, she's still here. Yep.
Okay.
Let's go, man.
It's possible. Have a good night.